Hey guys, Scott Fishman here with another great MLW guest. Mr. Thomas, how are you today?
Oh man, I'm wonderful. It's a Monday morning. I'm here,
Awesome.
alive.
Curious to know for those that are just starting to watch MLW as it kind of continues to get out there. Could you kind of describe just where did the inspiration come from, being called Mr. Thomas, and then also just kind of how your character has kind of evolved on the show?
There's a couple ways that this kind of came up. It came up real quick when I was put together with Alex Kane and we started the Boombaye Fight Club. The inside joke in the real life story is my cleaning lady called me Mr. Thomas for years. And I thought it was the funniest thing ever because I'm in real life, I really don't command any authority. I kind of just go with the flow. But then when this came up, it was like, hey, we need a new name. And the old name of Blaster McMassive probably just wouldn't flow right with the way MLW is more of a realistic type of organization. And Mr. Thomas was right there. Shout out to Mr. Hughes. Shout out to Mr. T. Shout out to my personal favorite wrestler, Mr. Perfect. So all those things get to roll into one, and it's just Mr. Thomas, man. It's not too far of an extension of my actual self, but I command a little bit of respect in the inside those four rings, four ropes.
Four
Excuse me, I'm
ropes,
having a
yeah.
stroke here.
Well, don't give Court any ideas. We might come up with a four ring match down the line. You never know.
We need a building big enough for it, so someone reach out if we can pull this off.
We could stack them though too. You
Sure.
never know. Um, it was announced earlier this year. I think it was in February that you had re-signed with MLW. Talk about your decision to do that and just having the opportunity to do that because there's some organizations that aren't don't that they'll sign you for a couple of dates or things like that, but it's not like a full commitment. But you kind of seem to fully commit to MLW. So talk a little bit about that.
It's one of those things. It's weird in wrestling when there's very little loyalty in this business, unfortunately. But MLW's always been loyal to me. I worked for a good amount of time without a deal, and I was okay with that. And I was always loyal to the brand. I put in my time and effort, and when it was time to resign again, there's just nowhere else I'd rather be when it comes to my ability to have input on what I do in my matches, things of that nature. The schedule is more of my liking. I like to live a very normal, peaceful, successful life outside the wrestling world. And, right now MLW allows me to do that. Not to say the schedule won't be a little more intensive as we go forward with things changing in life, but I'm prepared for that. And I think it's the perfect split between real life and professional wrestling that some people don't tend to have.
Healthy mindset. I like that.
Healthy man.
But, you don't really do much independent shows as well. So how do you because it's so important for a wrestler to have reps and things like that. So what do you kind of do to stay ready and ring ready?
I'm always right. A lot of things that I do are mostly behind the scene. I'll be the first one to say that I'm not the last time I jumped into the wrestling ring to practice, so to speak, on a Tuesday or Wednesday and try to work on my skills. I immediately tore my ACL. So I no longer in this aspect of wrestling, I try to limit my injuries as much as possible. So I have a very close strength and conditioning coach that I work with here down in Tampa, 2, 3 times a week, which we're doing a lot of other things that just aren't necessarily, shooting the ropes, doing drop downs, leapfrogs, timings drills, things of that nature. So we try to incorporate some more, real life aspect training into what goes into the wrestling ring because there's more than just doing grapples and things like that. And between you and I, my timing's perfect, brother, so I don't really have to brush up on that. But luckily I know that no matter what I have coming up, I'll always be paired off with someone who's a top-notch individual in this wrestling world that we live in. So I'm not in there solo. I'm in there with people that I know and trust and are capable of bringing me up if needed, and vice versa.
Yeah, I kind of liken it to like you're getting ready to, those prize fights. Like you're getting ready to, like it's not like an
Yeah.
every week thing right now, but you still put in the work and things. And as a boxer or an MMA fighter, kind of getting ready for these big fights. So it's an interesting approach that you take.
It's very much fight camp style with my trainer. She has a very good background. She's trained some other professional wrestlers, inside the gym and has done a lot of Muay Thai stuff. So working up to a certain thing, and obviously we want to look a certain way, and I want to look a certain way. My character needs to look a certain way on the big screen, and then but you need to be able to carry your weight and the weight of another grown men or in the case of this weekend, another 3 or 4 grown men inside of a cage to get where you need to be. So there's a lot of things that go into that, and I'm not sitting on the couch here just waiting for my next date. I promise you.
Yeah. Well, you had, you're not you're facing top talent, as you mentioned. I mean, we just saw you this past weekend facing Satoshi Kojima. So, how is it? What kind of working with a veteran like that? Um, what have
What
you
a
taken
time to
from
be
that?
alive. All right, so there's two parts of this. The professional in me, it's just another day, but the amount of messages and feedback that I got before and after that, just like you get to wrestle Kojima, like this is everyone's dream match coming into one. And I was lucky enough to mention to him, like, hey, I watched you versus Misawa this week from 2004 when I was graduating high school. It's definitely surreal getting in there with him, and an experience, probably easily the best match I've ever had as a professional wrestler. But try to just grow from that and move on to the next one.
How is it develop? You mentioned Alex Kane. I mean, how is it kind of working with him over the years? Talk about just how you guys have created your dynamic and how that's kind of evolved over time.
It was perfect, man. Kind of just thrown together. I've known of him before, and then we really meshed. I just lucky enough to be on the same page as someone. I'm a little older than him. I'm not saying I was there to babysit or guide him, but set him in the right ways and try to figure out what worked best for him, his character, my character, how we could play off each other. And I think it worked out, man. It worked out for the best. He went from being an unsigned, no-name person that gets drafted to MLW back in the 2021 draft. We popped up our first time together. He's the MLW Openweight champion. We rolled through everyone, steamrolled. He won the world title, black world champion in any organization. MLW is crazy. So it was good to see the highs and lows. Learned a lot from him. I hope he learned a lot from me. And we really worked together as a team in and outside the ring. We traveled together, hung out together. We still talk every day. That relationship, it just can't be broken. We did have our one-on-one match in the Opera Cup last year. I think we'll probably do that again at some point when the time is ready. But I don't know if he'll ever turn on me or I'll turn on him. But we'll see what happens when the time comes.
I mean, it is pro wrestling. You never know. Always got
It
to
is
keep your,
pro wrestling.
look behind your shoulder there. You mentioned kind of splitting your time. I mean, what is there anything that might surprise fans or something that you kind of do outside of wrestling?
I do a lot of everything. I'm a big baseball guy, so we're getting in the heart of baseball season. As a Phillies fan, I'm lucky enough that like we're in the tournament, so it's baseball season, football season. I'm an avid sports gambler. I love the dogs. I don't have a dog currently, but I had two English bulldogs, and I always tell people like, don't spend money on me outside of buying tickets. Like, I don't pimp shirts, I don't sell merch. Go donate to your local dog rescue,
Love it.
things of that nature. If you ever see me out down in Tampa, I'm usually at the beach or at the pool, just living my life, or just looking for a food festival or monster jam or somewhere where I can go and have recreational fun and just take my mind off whatever the real world is behind me. So.
Got it. You mentioned it earlier. We have this Slaughterhouse match, this House of Horrors cage match.
Yes.
Kind of describe how it's been described to you, how you're kind of preparing for it. I mean, you have Mads Kruger, who just won the MLW championship, so you know who wants to hold on to that title. Veteran CW Anderson, so a really cool throwback. Matthew Justice, who's known to take a risk or two, and then yourself, who kind of a mix of both, I think, and a little bit of a wild card, right? You'd say, and then two others. I mean, just talk about just what we're going to expect and that sort of thing, and what's your mindset going in compared to other matches you've
As
had.
much as I love surprises, I hate surprises. The unknown is always a question. Obviously, CW Anderson, a great competitor, a veteran from the original ECW days. We've had our feud the last year and a half, where the Rogue Horsemen were going up against the Boombai Fight Club and Matthew Justice. We were on the same team in the World Chamber, which I came out victorious for the record. So when it comes to cage matches this year, Mr. Thomas is 1-0 amongst everybody else. With that being said, Mads is just fresh off a world title victory. I hate to say it, but transition champion, possibly. I want that belt more than anything in life right now. So, the way it's been described to me is that we're going to get in this cage and we're going to fight till someone comes out world champion. That's all I know as of right now. I know there's weapons involved. I know we'll be caged in. I'm pretty sure there'll be something at the top keeping everybody in as much as I and Matthew Justice want to jump off and die through everything. I hope this will not be the one. I'm going to be a very safe wrestler this weekend. I'm going to utilize my technical ability instead of jumping off of things and going through things. But I will take a shortcut and I will hit somebody over the head with whatever is available to me at that one moment, because anything goes.
Yeah, and the fact that there's two mysteries, I mean, I'm interested to see who those are. It could be literally anybody, right?
I think. I'm not going to go out. I'm not spoiling anything because I don't ask questions. But the things that I've seen and what I hear and the tweets that I read in between the lines is, we got somebody new coming in who might have been around a few times, who might have just got let go from somewhere else, which is fine. And I'll tell him the same thing I'll tell anybody else. Don't come to MLW thinking that this is your meal ticket to the top because you got to go through a lot of other people to get to the top spot in this company, me being one of them. And I will fight and do whatever it takes to make sure that my spot's not taken by some guy that got released or couldn't, politic himself into getting resigned somewhere else. So that's a personal shout out to whoever wants to, TikTok, times ticking, whatever this, sundial bullshit of time and measurement is. I don't want to hear about it. Come see me to my face in LA on October 4th, and we'll see who walks out world champion. But Slaughterhouse is going to be crazy. Chamber of Horrors is going to be wild. I think it all goes into the October theme. Once upon a time, I heard a crazy road warrior say, "There's boys, there's men, and there's monsters," and we'll find out who's who this Saturday in LA for
Love
sure.
it. You could tell you're a student of the game by that. Lastly, just kind of what would be, because you mentioned Alex winning the championship, what would winning the MLW championship mean to you? And just talk a little about what you see for the future of the company as it continues to build momentum.
I mean, personally for myself, anytime that you can be strapped with the championship, it gives you not only the confidence of the company, the confidence of the fans, confidence from yourself to kind of rise above the rest. For me, I think a big jump, the world title being my first singles title in MLW would be crazy. I would love that more than anything. It's exactly what I'm going for. I think I said this last week when I was going up against Kojima. I'm on the bigger and better things. I think a little every once in a while I get kind of grouped into the Boombaye Fight Club, thinking that I was just a sidekick or a bodyguard or the Boombaye fight strategist, whatever you want to call me or tell me what my job title was a few months ago. I'm on my own now, so I have a name to prove for myself in the ring, outside of the ring, with everybody watching. And when it comes to MLW, I have nothing but full confidence in this company. I feel like we're getting ready to get to the next level. I know there's a streaming deal or a television deal that's on the horizon. I don't know much. I know it's just as much as you guys leak out there on the internet. So we'll all find that out in real time. And I know 2026 is going to be the biggest year for MLW. Every year's been bigger and bigger since I've got here back in 2021. So I expect no difference going forward. I think once we have more eyes and more views on the platform and everyone doing their work, I think success is just right over the horizon. Not that we're not successful now; it's just bigger and better things.
Sure. And October 4th, of course, fans can check it out on YouTube and be in sports or at the Thunder Studios in Long Beach. So you're talking about, how pro wrestling tickets have gotten so expensive some places. This is starting at $10, so you can't really beat
Tickets
the
as
the
low as 10
cost.
bucks. And this is a good room to be in. Thunder Studios is awesome. Last time we had a lot of cool people come out and check it out. I'm not going to name drop any of the superstars because we're all here to watch wrestling. So I'm not going to mention who was in the crowd, but come out. Tickets as low as 10 bucks. For those that like the party, I know there's full bar there. Drinks aren't free, but you have to pay for them if you like to get down like that. Get your tickets while they last. MLWLA.com. Come out, check us out. We have a meet and greet prior to the show. So if you want to meet myself, Altamore Guerrero, Mads Kruger, anyone who's on your fan favorite list, definitely come out beforehand and then enjoy the show. And if you catch me at an In and Out about 1:45 in the AM, just say what's up. Just be normal. Don't be weird about it.
Animal style, of course, right?
Animal style, always.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas, for the time. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.